Hey guys, welcome to Pastel Podcast. I threw Duke into it. It's a little loud. Let me turn that down a wee bit. There we go. All right. How's it going, everybody? It's Friday. Another Friday, another fucking podcast. We're here.
It is, yeah.
I'm your host, That Dutch Geek. Hello. Hey. Hi.
Hello, I'm SoDuke33. Sorry, I'm fucking bamboozled, bro. I'm like...
Why?
Because, I don't know, my mic wasn't set up, and I was just a little all over the place. I just got some food.
Nice.
So, might be eating that intermittently throughout the podcast. Please forgive me. I haven't eaten yet today. But
head.
yeah, it's Friday.
It is.
Another week. Another...
Hmm?
I don't know. I was trying to go with it, like, oh, another week, another... You know? Another week, another chin wag. It's not quite the same, but close. Probably as good as it's going to get.
Sure.
But another week, another podcast. Which I'm proud of, by the way. We haven't missed a beat for a little while now. And we've been doing, the new sort of audio setup with a little extra processing and, audio straight from the source for the real source. So it's been like... It's been a good few weeks. We kind of tested the water. We thought about video, but that wasn't really possible. So
no, editing wise, that wasn't possible to make happen for the YouTube side of things.
Yeah,
so.
and not only that, but like the files that we'd have to be moving around would be really big.
Yeah, that too.
Well, I would have to basically record an hour and a half of video, send it to you, etc. And it would just be a lot of work. But at least, on the audio side of things, it's all going to be good.
Yeah.
What I do want to start doing as soon as possible now is that since I'm pretty much, weekly, I send you the raw processed audio.
Mm-hmm.
Raw. I'm saying raw and processed is a little bit of it doesn't make sense. Oxymoron. Misnomer.
Mm-hmm.
One or the other. But since I send you just the audio every week, it would be cool to get it uploaded somewhere. I know... You were sort of looking into options for potential like Dungeon Discourse in the future for like audio-only podcasts, and it would be cool to do something like that. Because I mean, why the fuck not, right? Like, we've got the means.
We're gonna have to look around and do some research and find places that don't charge us money to allow us to upload more than X amount of gigs a month. Because that's SoundCloud's kind of whack. Whack.
I think that if we like. I don't know, we could do it on SoundCloud if we were just like, if we just went from like this week, it would be okay. But trying to upload the backlog is impossible.
Yeah.
And obviously the podcast goes up on YouTube, and if you're not subscribed to the YouTube, please do.
!PTS in the chat.
Yeah. Because that's going to be the exclusive YouTube channel now. It was. So I think this is really good. I think it's really good that we've got the same plans for Dungeon Select now. Or like Dungeon Select has its own channel. Because your channel now, you're putting a lot more focus on it. And
like that's that.
It's a lot more specified. Like you've got the content now that you want to put on your channel. And I think it's really good to have, okay, the podcast now has its own channel. Yeah. Like, for better or for worse, I could... It just makes our lives a little easier, other than the fact that now you're going to be logging in and out of like 20 different YouTube channels.
YouTube is very easy like that. It's just like you don't have to log in and out. It's just, you can swap accounts really easily on YouTube.
I swear, I use Chrome. You use Chrome?
Yeah.
So on Chrome, I can switch Google accounts really easily, but when I open YouTube, it only ever uses
YouTube's the same
account.
thing. If you go to YouTube and you go to like your top right, so you like your little YouTube logo, it has the same thing there. It's like switch accounts. And you just click,
dude, I'm a fucking boomer, I guess. Holy shit.
It's real easy. But yeah, how's your week been, bud?
Whoa.
Huh?
My PC just fucking locked up for a second. I think I might have lost some audio, but we'll see. But yeah, so how's my week been? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay, because it was like my PC locked up, and then I just got like, how's your week? So
okay.
Yeah, I didn't hear it.
Nice.
But my week's been good. Yeah, I can't really complain. Like, I've settled in winter, and we've already talked about before seasonal depression or seasonal affective disorder or whatever. My mood isn't super shitty anymore, that's for sure. But like my whole rhythm now has changed. Like, and I am sleeping a lot and getting up late and going to bed late, and it's weird because it's odd that it happens in winter. Like
hibernating, bro.
Maybe it's dark for longer, right? So in the summer there was almost a pressure to fall asleep earlier because I didn't want it to get light before I fell asleep, because that would suck, and then I'd struggle to sleep. Whereas now it's like, yeah, it's gonna be dark till fucking, you know, probably like what 7-8 a.m. at this point. So
later here, dude, like fucking 9.
Yeah. So like I'm just awake late, and then I sleep in because it doesn't get nearly even bright outside some days. Like it's so gray, and I don't know. Like it means I don't have as much time for stuff, and I'm not a fan, but at least, you know, I'm feeling okay. I mean, I was definitely in a bit of a slump this week, sort of early this week, but I think probably just after last weekend, I don't know, it was just a little bit of a low thing. So I had one day that I was super productive, and I'm super proud of like what I achieved in that day. I recorded a song which I've never really done before. Like in one day I recorded that the covered song that I did for Shay's birthday, and I was so blown away by like what I'd actually done by the end of that day that, like, I don't know, it made myself feel a lot better. And on top of that, it was like in that same day I tidied up in here. I put a fucking shelf in my desk down here.
Nice.
I vacuumed. I fucking, like, it was a good day. It was a good ass day. And you know, since then I've been feeling much better. I streamed Kingdom Come a few times already this week. Not played as much Apex purely because Plat sucks right now, you know? Like, I'm happy to do the Plat to Diamond grind, you know, in the last like 2 weeks of the season, but right now Plat's rough. So it was cool to hit Plat, and you know, that's all well and good, but with WoW and Apex, like, obviously we've been saying for weeks, like, WoW and Apex, dude, that's the shit. But like, Apex takes a back seat because grinding Plat fucking sucks, and then WoW takes a back seat because we are 4 days shy of the new expansion, which we'll be talking about in a bit. We are so close, and so WoW, not that great to play right now. I mean, we all know as soon as Shadowlands comes out, all our fucking gear score or item level like 100 plus stuff isn't gonna matter anymore. So it's hard to be motivated to grind Mythic Plus or to grind the pre-patch event stuff for eye level 100 gear, because you can start Shadowlands at eye level 50 and you'll upgrade it and be fine. Yeah, you know. Absolutely. So we're grinding for a very, very small head start, if that. But when it drops, it's gonna be insane, right?
Yeah,
it's gonna be
that's gonna be all we play really for at least the first few weeks. For me,
so,
at least, so
in the meantime, I've been playing Kingdom Come and just kind of chilling. Like, I've been streaming less. I haven't been streaming for as long. Just kind of taking some more time for myself, watching a lot of YouTube and playing a lot of Hearthstone Battlegrounds, to be honest. But just, yeah, I mean, no stress. And you know, Kingdom Come streams are no stress. I fucking love the game. But yeah, how's your week been?
Fucking meh, dude. I've been sick, still not feeling super great. So I didn't stream at all this week. I was like, fuck it, bro. I'm not gonna force myself to stream. I'm just gonna chill, try and feel better. Kept up the YouTube grind though, because I feel that's important. I want to keep that consistency going. New video every 2 days. Last one went up last night. Go check it out if you haven't already. Chat, !YouTube. And I streamed some Assassin's Creed today. I was just kind of chilling. I was like, yeah, fuck it. I'll do a little Assassin's Creed stream. Super close to Plant and Apex. Playing a lot of Battlegrounds. Waiting for Shadowlands, dude. Like, this month, I guess I'll do the announcement now. This Monday, I'm going to be doing my 4-year streamiversary thing.
Woo!
I'm going to just combine it. I'm going to just combine it with the Shadowlands launch, because it's just an easy long stream to do, because I'm going to be doing a long stream anyway. So I'm gonna go live around 8 p.m. my time with some Apex. Just play some Apex until Shadowlands comes out. And then once the hour hits, the Shadowlands comes out, swap into WoW and just play WoW until my dick falls off.
You know what you should do?
Hmm?
You know those little posts that you can put out on YouTube?
You can't do that until you hit 1,000 subs on YouTube.
Time to buy some subs, bro. Want to become famous?
Want to become famous, dude? Hell yeah.
Oh, that's a shame, because I was going to say you should put one of those out.
I've seen more growth on YouTube lately than I've seen on Twitch, which is kind of cringe, but...
Yeah, but you've also done a lot more on YouTube lately than you have on Twitch.
I don't know, man. Like, the last few months on Twitch have been rough, dude. Like, I'm above...
yeah, the last few months, sure.
1480 followers, and it's just... That's that. I've plateaued like a motherfucker. Which feels a little bad, but it is what it is. Like, the people that still watch are still the people that watch, so I owe it to them to keep the grind going. Like, I can't let that demotivate me. I cannot let the lack of growth demotivate me, because I owe it to the people that do watch regularly to keep it up. You know what I mean? That's kind of like that. Those people are my drive to keep going.
We've got such great shit in the pipeline, though.
Absolutely,
you know, like,
absolutely.
Don't just stay hyped.
Yeah,
really.
yeah. Like, with the YouTube channel is going well, and I'm definitely gonna keep up that grind. Especially with Shadowlands coming out, so I'm gonna be able to make so many fucking videos, just about like characters we meet there and dungeons, and like explaining the story of each, like each continent as we So like, I've completed the entirety of Bastion. Let's break down the main story quest line throughout Bastion in a video, and so on and so forth, and shit like that. So like, YouTube wise, I've got so much content coming to me with the release of this new expansion, and then once the new content runs out, I still have a backlog of other shit Warcraft related that I can make videos on. So the YouTube fucking train is not going to stop.
And I mean, the best bit is that since we're going to be say you want to make a video about like certain quest lines and stuff, we're going to be streaming it. We're going to be playing it. You're going to have all that footage from streaming that you can use yourself and just cut it together with some voiceover.
Exactly.
So
then,
okay.
Hold up. And then other than that, so Monday, big 4-year celebration stream. Tell your friends, tell your wife, tell your kids to watch that. Don't tell your kids. I cuss a lot, but actually, dude, it's 2020. Nobody gives a fuck. Tell your kids. They watch Ninja. They can handle me, right? But so yeah, this week has been very slow, but there's a lot of good shit coming up that I'm excited for, with Shadowlands, with the YouTube, with Past Assault and Dungeon Select in the not so near but still kind of near future.
Yeah.
So that's definitely keeping me. I keep my eyes on what's coming. Oh, I just punched my microphone. I'm sorry. I'm keeping my eyes on like what's coming, because it's exciting. Just the prospect of all these cool things happening soon is really, really exciting, and I'm excited for just to see what it does on the YouTube side of things. I'm excited to see where Dungeon Select is gonna go with all of our plans. I'm excited to see, like, at this point, I put my Twitch channel, especially when the Dungeon Select stuff hits, I'd rather that succeed and blow up than my own Twitch channel.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, the thing is that if any one thing blows up, the rest will pretty much follow suit. At least, like, a little bit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're not seeing it right now from, because YouTube's still small gains and stuff like that. But, like, definitely, if Shadowlands blows up your YouTube, then your Twitch will definitely see some growth because of people from YouTube, etc.
Yeah.
I'm still, like, I don't know what it is. Usually, I'm someone with, like, anticipatory anxiety. Like, usually, big plans make me shit my pants. Like, I don't know what it is about particularly Dungeon Select. Like, the stuff that's coming for that has me so excited. Just in general, because I think it's just such a good idea. And
yeah, for sure.
And, like, the idea of a fresh start is so exciting to me. With all that we've learned,
it's always like, it's one of those things where, and we've talked a lot about Dungeon Select last week, so we're not gonna do it again.
Yeah, we won't go into it.
Long story short, the fact, like, this has been something we've been doing for over 2 years,
Yeah.
So it's really hard to get into now because of the backlog of stuff. Then you're like, what the fuck's going on? Who has time to watch almost 100 episodes of D&D to catch up? Like, nobody. I have the same Critical Role. I'm never going to be able to catch up Critical Role because of the backlog. And I'm okay with it, but just this like excitement of like, okay, a few months from now, fresh start, fresh look, new channel, just completely starting at nothing and building it up.
Yeah.
Giving the chance to so many people to hop on the Dungeon Select train from day one, from stream one, from session one, to just experience the story with you all as players as well. And me as a GM for that.
Yeah, and just elevate the whole thing. Like, yeah, it's gonna be a really good time. And like, I already said, I have the same feeling with Pass the Salt. It was a really cool idea to just, okay, Pass the Salt has its own YouTube channel now. It's probably not gonna blow up, but it just feels good to like, it feels maybe it's just more professional that Pass the Salt now has a definitive, it's not just an offshoot or like spin-off of your YouTube channel. Pass the Salt has its own space, and I desperately we gotta find a place to upload the audio only, and I hope, fingers crossed, you've got them saved, because my Google Drive filled up, so I had to delete a lot of stuff.
Ever since we started doing the swapping back and forth, I'm not sure. I probably have them somewhere on my hard drive, but
if you do have the audio,
but
stuff,
if not, like the thing is though,
because we did with Enrico and Para, etc.
Yeah, with the podcast, with SoundCloud in particular being a bit of a dickhole when it comes to uploading so much files at once. We just gotta... Oh, look in the porn folder, someone in chat says. True.
Oh yeah, the Duke Nudes folder as well.
I have a folder on my desktop that's a fun little anecdote. That is just Duke's Nudes, which it's empty, but it's there. Just whenever I'm streaming and I show my desktop, there's a chance that someone in chat's like, wait. And it happened like last week. Cressor was like, you might want to move that folder. And I was like, someone saw it. Pog. The bit paid off.
Oh my god, Jinx!
Yo!
Oh, that was amazing.
So, yeah, we're gonna have to just, like, you and me both, just like this weekend somewhere, whenever we have time, just get together and just have a little look at, like, places. Because it's something I need to do for Dungeon Select anyway. And if we find places where we can do Dungeon Select on, why not also do Pass the Salt on those same places? Because...
Yeah.
They're both going to be in podcast form, so might as well hit two birds with one stone.
Oh man, we talk about D&D so much every week, but when you say Dungeon Select in podcast form, you mean just audio only of...
Yeah.
Okay, because if everyone in the cast gets Audacity, I could do the same with that I do for
dude, I mean,
podcast, if it helps.
Fuck, if that is something you want to commit to.
The only thing is going to be the only thing that I wouldn't that makes me like.
The thing is, I don't think we need to though. I think what I can do, because that relies on 7 people all having their audio in check and all making sure that they do.
I mean, it's 7 people hitting record on Audacity at the same time.
Yeah, but they also, like, we tried with Soko last time and he didn't do, like, he did it, but he's never gonna send you those files, right?
Yeah, right. But
I feel like for D&D.
But if we can get the rhythm,
if we just take stream audio, we'll be all right. I think.
I mean, I think probably we are 7 streamers with studio quality microphones. It's not exactly terrible. If there was some way that you could tamper with the audio of a Discord like call, it's just I mean, it's just a thought. But on that note as well. It's funny, this all kind of ties in together. So last week, right before Dungeon Select started, Belle was like, you guys want to do some voiceover for this thing I'm doing? And everyone was like, yeah.
I didn't get asked.
I think you just unmuted, like when we were talking about it, and I think you did, because I remember you saying, oh, I thought that was a joke or something. Anyway. And I was like, after Dungeon Select, I messaged her like, what do you need doing? So she sent me some lines, and I'm doing some voiceover for, I think, like a student film.
Oh yeah.
And Yeah, I was recording them today. I have to do 3 different voices though, and like,
okay,
yes, I can do three different voices, but the trouble is that they still all sound like me.
I mean,
like,
yeah, that's,
sure,
like
the accent is different or whatever, but obviously they're still all gonna sound like me. So the trouble is, like, they need to be different people. I got to figure out how to actually differentiate them, and I've been doing some processing and like a little bit of pitch shifting here or there and EQing it slightly differently, but it's, yeah, I hope it's good enough, basically, because it's not exactly easy to do 3 different voices that sound completely different from one another. It's like, I mean, you know, even
like, the thing is though, I feel like they don't have to sound completely different. Like, that's the thing. Like, how many times are you watching anything animated and you recognize voice actors because, oh, they've done different shit? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
okay, but you wouldn't, if you watch one cartoon, it wouldn't be obvious that one person was doing multiple characters.
I suppose that's true. Yeah, I suppose that's true.
Even in, I'm pretty sure, like, well, Simpsons or SpongeBob or like things like that, like, there are voice actors who do multiple characters, but at no point are you sort of like disappointed or recognize it very easily unless you know. So, you know, it's definitely an experience though. I mean, it was the same with recording a song. Is like the number of takes of singing that I did that was like, that just doesn't sound good, and then like singing a little differently and being like, oh, that sounds good, that sounds like singing. And it's the same, it's like, I've never really done proper VO, and I want to take this seriously, like, even if it's only a small thing, because at the end of the day, it's a portfolio. Like, I can put it into somewhere and say, I did this, and like, Belle is obviously going to know people who are doing similar projects who might also need voiceover, and I'm going to want to, you know, want the opportunity to do it. So it's definitely a learning experience being like, okay, so how do I make a different, how do I sound completely different, you know? Or at least create the illusion that I sound completely different. And it's not easy, I'll tell you what. Like, you try and change the pitch on some stuff, and it can change the timbre of it in a way that makes it sound very artificial, and it's like, oh, that's obviously pitch shifted, even if you only do it a tiny bit. So it's not easy at all. It's very easy for me to like slip in and out of different accents for a bit, but making sure that accent is like accurate from start to finish, especially when you're doing longer lines, and you listen to it back and it's like, oh, that doesn't sound quite right.
Yeah,
like,
I have the same when we do D&D, bro. Like, I can do a few accents pretty well, and I kind of like shake them out of my sleeve, like, oh, this guy talks like this.
Yeah.
But if I have to keep up 2 or 3 different accents for like long periods of time, I get like, I start mixing them up and shit.
Yeah, exactly. And
it sucks.
I don't know, I'm very, very particular about it, you know? Like, probably overly critical, because anyone listening, it's like when someone plays an instrument and they make a mistake and they're like, oh fuck, but then everyone listening is like, oh, we wouldn't have even noticed, you know? It's like, oh, I try and read a line in like this accent, and I listen to it back and I'm like, oh, that's that doesn't sound like a specific.
I completely missed that, and I would love to fucking try my hand at giving her a little help with that, and fucking, I don't know. If they need someone that sounds more European than British, yo, I'm the guy. Hello.
Yeah, right now it's late 1800s London, so I'm just.
Ooh, fuck. Never mind.
Got one Cockney dude, one Scottish dude, and then like one slightly posh dude. But I think I want to re-record the posh dude because I wasn't a big fan of it.
Sodium Sweet says something in chat. There's a similar thing with welding. Once you know it, it becomes hard not to critique. I feel like that goes for anything.
Yeah.
Once you're like, really good at something, it is really easy for you to critique it because you see the mistakes. Whereas the general populace who has no idea how to weld or how to VO or how to sing or how to play the drums, they wouldn't fucking know.
They don't identify the mistakes that you have made 1,000 times already in your career, and like, especially when, like, you know, I listen to a lot of music and watch fucking Critical Role, which is an esteemed, prestigious cast of professional voice actors, and like, you get this understanding of something that you can't do yourself, at least not yet. So it's like when you do it badly, you're even more critical of it, because it's like, oh, I've seen the best, why can't I do that, right? And it's like, of course. So again, like, it sounds dumb. This is like literally like a student film that it is really inconsequential, but I want to get it right first time, you know.
Especially nowadays, like I've dabbled into looking around the internet, being like, okay, so how do you actually get started with that shit? And everyone's like, build a portfolio.
Yeah.
And like, how do you build a portfolio? You start doing small shit like student films and fucking whatever else, like, you know, shit that you do for free because you want to do a portfolio. So
yeah,
if homie is doing a student film and needs a couple voice actors, that's the sort of shit that you need to do to start building a portfolio, so that you can then use that portfolio to actually apply to the bigger stuff.
I've looked into it, and it really is like exactly what you said. Your payment early on is getting something for a portfolio, because the only people who are going to take you on at that point are people who don't care if you don't have one. So, but yeah, so it's just you got. I want to do it. I want to do it right. I want to do it well, and I want to take it a little seriously. And I'm just, it's a great experience, obviously, and it's crazy. I tweeted earlier this week, wow, dude, I'm actually using the hundreds of pounds worth of recording equipment and software that I own to make music. Like,
crazy, dude. Crazy.
What?
Dude, no, low-key, chat, for those that haven't seen or listened to Duke's cover, like, Duke covered a song, I forget which song it is, but...
Like Real People Do by Hosier.
There you go. Shay Luxby, it was her birthday this week, and Duke recorded a little cover of that song, and it's in his Discord. Man's got fucking pipes, bro, like, low-key. Where have they been hiding all this time, huh?
I did Twitch things, bro.
Oh, it's true. My bad. Yeah, no, but like, I was surprised. I was like, whoa, okay. Like, I was like, bro, this is good. And I was surprised by how good it was.
Believe me, I was fucking surprised.
So if you're in Duke's Discord, it's in the music channel, I think. Just give it a listen. It's good. Yeah,
it's in the music channel. But I was surprised. Like, at the end of that day, okay, everyone hates the sound of their own voice, right?
Absolutely, yes.
I feel like when you do what we do, it gets better.
Yeah, the thing is, though, it was fine for me streaming-wise, but now that I am doing these YouTube videos where I narrate long bits of text and I have to constantly watch myself back because I'm quality checking the video, where did I slip up, what do I need to re-record, I kind of refound my hatred for my own voice, dude.
You know why? You know why?
What?
When you're streaming, it's conversational, right?
Yeah.
So it's a lot easier to listen to yourself in the context of a stream, because it's like, oh, I'm just talking back and forth to chat and like kind of commenting on the game. It's free-flowing and it's way more conversational and colloquial. When you're narrating, you have to pay attention to... You've written a script and you know how you want that script to sound. And if your inflection is slightly wrong on the line or something like that, and it's way more intimate, right? Because you record a lot closer to your microphone, it's a lot more controlled. It's not just like, haha... Because essentially, like... when you stream, how your voice actually... I don't know why I sound like that guy from Pulp Fiction for a second there. When you stream... You know what I'm talking about? I can never remember his name.
It's been a while since I've seen Pulp, but I think I do. I think I know what you're talking about.
But when you stream, like... It's... So much of like what you say is secondary, and how it sounds is secondary. It's more just the fact that you're saying something, right?
Yeah.
Whereas when you've written the script... Like, a script on paper seems good, but then you're reading it and it's like, oh, that doesn't seem quite right. And I said that.
Because I was sick this week. For the Kill Fast video, for instance, I wrote that script and I started reading it, and like, my voice gave out so many times during the like recording of it, and I had to redo so many lines because my voice gave out because I was sick, and I was like, oh my god, I'm never recording a video when I'm sick again, dude. Probably gonna, because I want to keep that consistency up, but fuck me, dude, that sucked.
Yeah, I mean, you got to do what you got to do, right? Unless you lose your voice. I mean, you can record a voiceover and you can say, hey guys, just to start this video, I'm sick right now, like, and that's whatever. And I feel like it's funny, usually the response when someone is sick is that everyone loves their voice and they're sick, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because it like sounds deeper or whatever.
Yeah, because you got all, Where the fuck did we get on this tangent from? Because I swear there was a point.
I don't know.
I was talking about hitting your own voice. Okay.
Right, yeah.
So, I am in complete agreement. Listening back to my VODs and stuff like that, I have no issue with my own voice at all. Like, honestly, I feel kind of blessed. I think I have quite a nice voice. I at one point wanted to go into radio, and like, yeah, people like, hey,
you have a face for radio.
Hey, good one. Never heard that one before. That's original. Anyway, singing, that was painful. Listening to myself sing and editing my singing, like, that was so hard. That was very, very rough, and I didn't want to hear it back at all. You have to make sure it sounds good, and I re-recorded so many takes of so many different parts of that song in so many different ways, but I really hated hearing my own voice. When it was done, and I'd exported it, and I'd shut down Studio One, and I was done with it, I listened to it later on, and I just could not believe that it was me. You know what I mean? Like, I enjoyed listening to it, and I was like, this is insane. Like, I couldn't believe, for one, that I did it in one day, but also, like, I did a pretty fucking good job.
Dude, that could be your YouTube niche, bro. Uploading covers of songs, dude.
Yeah, but then I don't get paid.
Who cares?
Me?
Actually, I think covering a song, there's a lot of big...
You know, a DMCA claim...
Yeah.
When
but I think that once you are big enough, right, and YouTube actually pays attention to you, you can dispute it and say, fair use, mate.
You can't. Dutch, okay, I don't want to pull out the I've studied music business card, but I've studied music business.
Yeah.
When you record a song, the melody, the lyrics, not the chord progression, but there's a lot of aspects of that song that are protected by copyright. And when you cover a song, if I played a gig, okay, so there's a thing called oh man, this is we're gonna get into it.
Let's go.
There's a thing called a PRS license, okay? Now, PRS is the Performing Rights Society. It is essentially kind of like a union that protects the rights of performers, musical artists, etc. So, if I wrote a song and I went to the PRS website and I registered my song there, someone in like Edinburgh, right, could go into a bar in Edinburgh, and if that bar has a PRS license, which they should if anyone's playing music, if a band goes into that bar and covers the song that I wrote, the venue has to take a set list, tell wherever the songs that were played, tell PRS the songs that were played at the venue, so that I get paid for that band playing my song in that pub.
Really?
Yeah.
It's fucking wild.
That's good. That's how music should work, right?
I didn't know didn't know that was a thing. That's wild.
So, on YouTube, covering a song is like one of the most like obvious, like unprotectable by fair use things. If you cover a song, then the record label or the artist who wrote the song is well within their rights to claim that video and take the money from it because they wrote the song that you just played. The payment for the performance is separate, but that's not really where you're getting your money on YouTube. Like, it's very strange, but that's essentially what copyright is there to protect for music.
Fair enough. Okay.
The reason that it's so fucked now is obviously
and just get sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends every video. Easy.
I see that's where it gets weird. I don't know the ins and outs of shit like that, but like if I'm sponsored to make a video where I cover a song, am I technically still like, do I still need to pay someone? I mean, like, you could pay a license fee and then you could, I think, maybe get paid for, probably not get paid for covering someone's song, but basically If I wrote original music, fuck yeah. But and I even said like to Shay, like I feel like maybe I should try writing some music because I did a pretty good job, and maybe I could write something and record something that was as good. But writing music's fucking hard, so
I believe it. Yeah,
I'm gonna be working on it. But that as far as like income goes is really my only option. Yeah, another interesting fact, since I guess like not out of the loop, but you just don't know about music licensing or royalties as much.
Dick about music, bro. Like
okay, I'm trying to think of a good example of an artist that I know for sure. Justin Bieber, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Ed Sheeran got paid more for one of Justin Bieber's songs than Justin Bieber did because Ed Sheeran wrote it, right? And so if you write someone else's song, unless you get paid a flat fee, if you write someone else's song and they are like, and it's played on the radio or it's played on TV or it's played in anything and there's royalties involved, the songwriter will get the royalties, not the singer, right? Okay. But there was an Oasis, I want to say, no, it wasn't an Oasis song. There was a song that a really famous, it was Robbie Williams, right? Angels.
Yeah.
So this, I can't say if this story is 100% true, but this is how the story goes. Robin Williams, or the guy he works with, Guy Chamberlain.
Robbie, not Robin.
Robbie, yeah, Robbie Williams, the guy from
you said Robin.
Did I?
Yeah.
Robbie Williams from Take That, anyway. So Guy Chamberlain writes a lot of Robbie Williams' music, or they write it together, and they were in Ireland, I want to say, and there was a guy in a bar performing this song, Angels, and it, like, the real story of it was absolutely heartbreaking. Like, I think, like, his expecting girlfriend had a miscarriage or something like that, and like the song was written with reference to that. So it was either Guy or Robbie sits down with the guy and they're like, yeah, we'll give you $5,000 for that song. And the guy took obviously the money, right? Yeah. A few thousand, whatever. And that means that the rights to the song now belongs to Robbie or Guy Chamberlain.
Yeah, because they paid a flat fee. They were like, we pay you this money. That song is now ours. Yeah.
And royalties, they have now made probably millions from that song, right?
Yeah, but there's also, like, people could be like, oh, yeah, bro, if that guy would have... That's not how the world works. Like, if that guy
not if that guy put the song out, but if they knew what they were doing, right? At the end of the day, like, they know Robbie Williams is going to sell so many fucking copies of that song, right?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
It's like, yeah, we'll just give him a few grand, Keck W. Like, but that's how it works.
That is, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of wild.
I mean, at the end of the day, dude, just the way it, like,
is what it
people
up.
That are in that business and are successful, like, they know. And like, if they hear a song that they know would do well if it would be sung by someone who's already in the business, like, they're never gonna give someone more than a few grand because they know.
I mean, but imagine if you said, I want
they know
1%.
haha poor peasant is gonna want that money anyway.
Yeah.
So we're gonna make millions off of it. He doesn't know that. Smile, Keck W.
Yeah.
That's the way it works.
But
could you argue they could have given the guy more? Sure, but why would they? It's business after all.
Yeah, but the other thing is that, like, if he'd been a tiny bit more savvy, you know.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He could have definitely, like, asked for more, and they would have probably given it.
I mean, if he'd asked for 1% royalty, he would be set probably for life. Like,
yeah,
and
that's true. Yeah.
That's such a tiny cut. At the end of the day, like, maybe they would have considered it. But yeah, that's the music. I mean, we know how fucking shitty and brutal the music industry is, and we are experiencing it firsthand now.
Here we go. When Hefferman learned that a version of Angels would appear on Williams' debut album Life Through a Lens, he accepted an offer from Williams' management to buy the rights for 7,500 quid,
7,500.
Heffernan is thanked in the UK CD2 single liner notes. Williams said, "We could have gone to court, and it would have been down to what way the judge wakes up that day out of bed. So I gave him some money, and he went away." Yeah. For a long time, I was angry about this, but as you get older, you can see things differently. The Angels connection has opened doors to publishing companies and earned me a few quid. I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, true, I guess, yeah. There you go.
So, wait, was that the
final
guy
thing
whose song it was? Said it opened a few doors?
Yeah.
Oh, that's something, at least. Yo, by the way, I've got a credit on a Robbie Williams song. Oh, really? Yo, come in.
Yeah, so, like, they do credit him, like, in the actual, like, you know, like, back in the day when albums came with, like, little booklets.
Yeah.
Remember when you bought a CD and like all the lyrics would be in the fucking booklet, bro?
I mean, they still do that. They still do that. There are bands out there that still put thought and effort into their liner notes. I haven't bought a CD in 10 plus I think
years.
we're quickly... So every year there's a report about the music industry, right? It might even just be called the Music Industry Report. And in that report, there are graphics of like... medium.
Oh, they originally claimed that
sales.
they wrote it themselves? That's fucking hilarious.
That's even worse. That's even worse. But yeah, so there's usually a graphic of media sales, and I think we're slowly reaching the point, or maybe reached the point in 2019, that vinyl sales have overtaken CDs.
Really?
Yeah, I think.
Crazy.
I guess if you're gonna buy a hard
copy, if you're gonna buy hard copies of music, you're doing it because you're collecting.
Yeah.
Right nowadays.
Yeah.
And I feel like vinyls are just way more collectible than CDs. I guess,
at this point now, as well, bear in mind that you'll probably pay a lot more for one vinyl, right?
Yeah.
So it's like
I feel
you'll
like
pay
a lot of
£20 for vinyl, the way you'd pay £10 for a CD. So it's like the market share is obviously going to be bigger, even if the volume.
Plus,
of sales
vinyls
is
are
lower.
making a bit of a comeback, bro. Like a lot of
massively.
people are pushing out vinyls again, which is pretty. Pretty cool.
I'll see if I can find the. Oh god, my mic. Sorry. Music Industry Report.
Robert Williams claimed that Heffernan had nothing to do with it, but they paid him off anyway. Press X to doubt. I mean, nobody ever claimed that Robbie Williams was a nice guy. All right.
Oh, dude, he's awful.
He's a fucking prick.
He was hooked on drugs for ages, and like.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure that's not his fault.
He's a cock. Like he's a bellend, but you know. Success and drugs will do that to a man, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, it's cool to see because I know like Opti, for instance, like does like collecting a vinyl or two here and there.
I have a few.
Oh, there you go. One of my friends, their dad has like two like large fucking just cases of like just two large fucking racks just filled with vinyls.
Yeah.
Just there. And like he goes to like conventions and shit so he can buy like vinyls off the cheap because people are like trading and whatever the fuck.
So there is a graph, and this is from 2017.
Okay.
That shows. I mean, it shows from 1977 to 2017, and like you can see basically at the end of the graph, like vinyl's getting bigger. CD is still bigger than vinyl in 2017. I would love to see what that looks like now. In fact, I don't know if there's a more recent one. I'll have to find it at some point. But yeah, like obviously vinyl way more collectible, and people will argue. I mean, there's obviously nerds out there that have really nice hi-fis, and vinyl is arguably a better quality format. What's interesting is that you have to master songs differently for vinyl and CD, I think, because of the way that the music sounds different coming off of the different materials. It's like when there were shellac records before there were vinyl records, and mastering for MP3 as well was weird too. You had to do certain shit for that. Like people will tell you it all sounds a little bit different. You know, vinyl has a certain warmth. I definitely can say that because I spent a lot of time at said friend, and his dad would always just play vinyls after he came home from work, pop a vinyl on. Like it definitely sounds different than just putting a CD in the fucking CD player. That's for sure. Like I can definitely say I as someone who doesn't really know what he's talking about, can tell that there's definitely a difference in audio when you play a vinyl compared to a CD. What I would love to do is take someone's like full hi-fi setup, you know, that has like a turntable and a CD player, but obviously it's all coming out of the same speakers and all that good shit. I would love to compare the same song or record, like what is the difference, through the same set of speakers and stuff. But the thing that really kind of brought vinyl back, I mean, obviously hipsters love it. Turntables are super cheap to make as well. But it's they always drove home, like lectures and stuff when I was learning about this, the point of like, it's a ritual, right? When you play a vinyl, you have to like, you put it on the turntable, or, well, no, step one, you pick a record, you go through, you rifle through your collection, and you pull one out, it's like, as it comes out of the shelf, and then you like, pull it out of the sleeve, and then you put it onto the thing, and you get the needle, and then you start it going, and then halfway through you have to flip it over, and it's like a whole thing. It's like, it makes a music listening and experience way more tangible and like involved, right? Mm-hmm. So that part of the experience is obviously like quite a big reason why vinyl is seeing popularity again, because music became so like background, right? When it's like you just put it on Spotify while you're doing something else. The physicality and the involvement of listening to a vinyl is obviously in itself a whole different experience, and you can appreciate it in a completely different way.
Like that friend's dad that I mentioned, he would always like, him and his wife would like, sit down, pick a record, put it on,
and listen to the record.
Listen to the TV off, just have coffee, listen to the record, and they wouldn't leave the living room until the record was completely done playing. Like, yeah,
I used to do that shit. It was just like
their little thing.
I have 2 records from an ambient electronic duo called Boards of Canada. Mm-hmm. And that music is so fucking bizarre, right? There's like weird audio clips of like a kid like, I love you. Like, it's so fucking weird. And I would like come home from college, and I would get on my Boards of Canada record, and I would put it on the record player, and I would sit in the living room, and like one of my parents would come home and they'd be like, what the fuck are you, what is this? As I'm just listening to like,
what are you listening to?
Weird drum
We've got
beats
neighbors.
And drone fucking synthesizers, and like, oh dude. But that was an experience. It was a good experience. It was a good time.
Like, it's not something you do. Like, it's not like, oh, let me pop a vinyl on, I'm gonna play COD with the boys. You know what I mean? Like,
right. No, we had the Bose iPod speakers and the hardstyle for that shit. But exactly. if I was gonna listen to a record, dude, I'd get out the Boards of Canada, because I loved, dude, the sleeves were so nice. The art is so good. I'll have to show them on stream, or I'll show them on the next podcast. But the sleeves are so nice and like bizarre and weird, and I love that shit. I love being a fucking weirdo when I was younger, dude. Not anymore. I'm super normal now, but
I think I know some people that would doubt that. And also a thing that haters. Like vinyl compared to CD is that a lot of game soundtracks are available on vinyl as well. Like, a lot of game publishers release the soundtrack on vinyl.
You know why?
There's a fucking back in the day, dude. Like they released, like, it was like a limited edition, limited time release, where they released the fucking Halo soundtrack on vinyl. Can you imagine? Pop in the fucking vinyl on the thing, put the needle in, and you just hear, oh, like, bro, dude, like, chills. I have chills. Anyone have chills in chat? I got chills, bro.
Any chillers? I'm chilling, bro.
Like, that's Pog. And the Doom soundtrack, bro.
Doom soundtrack on vinyl with fucking slap cheeks. Oof. This is just making me want like a good hi-fi record player again. Because right now the one we have isn't great.
Shout out to vinyls, bro.
Yeah.
But
should we talk about video games?
Never.
So should we talk about video games?
Yeah. I try to tie in video games there at the end.
Yeah, good job.
Yo, shout out to Finals. Last seen playing Smite. Got it.
Okay.
So, in other news, like, we're not going to talk about WoW, because next week will be the podcast we can talk about WoW Shadowlands after you've actually played it.
Yeah, okay.
So let's hold off on that. But this week, every year in December, there's the Game Awards. And every year, we, as Level Select, cast it, typically on Profane Artillery's channel. We watch the Game Awards together and have a goof and a gaff, some new game announcements, and just see what games win the big awards, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this week, voting opened. All the nominees for all the categories got revealed. Voting opened. I voted. Apparently, Jeff Keighley tweeted out that this year, at this point already, they've had twice the amount of votes they've had in total last year, which is pretty wild.
Jesus.
So just twice the amount of people voted this year already.
Probably all the haters trying to vote against Last of Us 2.
True, dude. But that's going to be, I think, December 10th is when that's happening.
Yeah.
We're going to be casting it probably on Profane's channel. Keep an eye on the Level Select Discord for that announcement. I voted, so let's just have a little talk, because there's some games on that list that we've both played.
Yeah, so here's the thing, right? As streamers, as big video game, influencers, as I'm sure we'd be considered. Absolutely. I just went through the list before we started the podcast. I went through all of the nominees and I started trying to pick out the ones that we've actually played, and it is a very small list, especially when you look at the Game of the Year nominees and the best narrative, best direction, all that good stuff. Out of all those nominees, I haven't played a single one out of the biggest categories, and you have only played Last of Us 2, right?
Yeah, there's 2 games in there that are on my list that I want to play, but I just never got around to it, bro.
Right, Ghost of Tsushima and
Doom.
Doom, right. So, we... Obviously, if you want to see the nominees and maybe vote... Is voting still open?
Yeah.
If you want to see the nominees and vote, you can go on the Game Awards website. I think it's just thegameawards.com/nominees.
I think so.
And you can vote there. But as far as, huge influences go, we have not played that many. We do not have really that much experience to offer educated opinions on many of these. But there are a few that stand out, a few categories that stand out that we do definitely have, we can give our 2 cents on. And from the top down, obviously Last of Us 2 is
love that game.
A huge deal.
Had a great fucking time with that game. People gave it so much shit and hate for all the wrong reasons. Is it the perfect game? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But the amount of hate and death threats and bullshit entitled little 15-year-old grubby gamers sent the way of both these voice actresses involved and the director and the writer is just so ridiculous, dude.
Yeah. I mean, we
they wrote a story, but gamers didn't like the story because, spoiler alert, someone dies that is very near and dear to the fan base. And instead of being oh, that's a shame, God, I wonder where the game's going next, they were just Wee! I want this voice actress who voices the character that kills this other character to fucking die. What is that? What is that? And how have we come to a point that is the norm among the vocal minority of grubby fucking gamers?
Okay.
Isn't that fucking stupid?
We went through this. We've been through this.
Yeah, I know, but I just...
Gamers are bad.
Pissed.
You hear that?
Just pissed.
Chat, gamers are bad. If you're a gamer,
gamers are the worst people.
Okay. So...
Anyway.
all of that aside, hate that Last of Us 2 might have gotten, it is nominated for Game of the Year, Best Game Direction, Best Narrative, Best Art Direction, Best Score and Music, Best Audio Design. 2 of the actresses that were in Last of Us 2 are nominated for Best Performance. So 2 of the 5 are from Last of Us 2. Is that all of it? Is that all of the categories that Last of Us 2 made into?
Sounds about right.
I think no. Innovation and accessibility.
There you go.
Best action adventure.
Well, there you go.
I think that's it.
So 9 out of the 15 categories or whatever the fuck? How many there are?
There are more, but the ones specific to games, it's a majority. And the fucking Game Awards website makes me lag. That's crazy. So do you think, right? Now, you've seen the list.
Yeah.
Do you think Last of Us Part 2 is the game of the year?
Definitely a safe bet. I'd say the only game in that list that I could potentially see take them out, or two games rather, is Final Fantasy or Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima, very well received. I haven't played it, but I've heard nothing but good about it.
Yeah.
It is supposed to be amazing. And Final Fantasy, just because of the dedicated fan base that that game has, and how Final Fantasy VII is referred to as the best Final Fantasy ever made. Doom Eternal, I don't think is a real contender there, purely because
it's just another Doom.
It's just another Doom.
And that's not to say that it's bad.
No, it's good. Like, the fact that it got nominated means it's good.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just not... It has just way less to offer as an experience compared to the other nominees, I think.
I have a huge bias to original games. I think... I mean, there's two of the games nominated for Game of the Year, Hades and Ghost of Tsushima, are new IPs, original. And that always stands out to me. And I think I'm with you to say that Ghost of Tsushima may contend with Last of Us Part 2, purely because, as far as Last of Us Part 2 goes, didn't have the reception or the impact of the first one. Mm-hmm. It was far more controversial, not for the right reasons.
Fucking holy shit.
But I think Ghost of Tsushima, it's down to popular vote, right?
Yeah.
So I think Last of Us Part 2 might win it in that respect, but I sincerely believe that Ghost of Tsushima is probably more deserving in my opinion. And I have played neither of these games, so my opinion is worth absolutely
You've watched me
nothing.
stream Last of Us 2 though, right?
I've watched you stream it. I've watched people play it. I've watched people play Ghost of Tsushima as well. I mean, I don't know. Like, in general, Ghost of Tsushima's reception was more positive. But like I said, Last of Us was controversial for the wrong reasons. I mean, there's an amazing video by Nakey Jakey breaking down The Last of Us Part 2 that I would recommend anyone to watch if you're interested, that I watched, and he made some really excellent points on why Last of Us Part 2 isn't as good as the first one, for example. But Ghost of Tsushima being a new IP, an original game, a new game with... I mean, obviously it borrows some stuff from other titles, doesn't every game? But it just...
Yeah, originality's dead.
Right.
Like...
But it looked good. It looked like it played really nice, and like I said, I have a huge bias towards newcomers. So I'm rooting for Ghost of Tsushima. But yeah, out of all of them,
play that
between us, we've only played Last of Us Part 2, and you fucking loved it, and I watched it.
Yeah, I had a really good time. Like,
wow.
Was it as good as one? No.
Do you think?
But it was still very good.
Do you think that in this vote, like, well, it's avoidable when it's a public vote, but do you think when it comes to somewhat objective criticism, which is like the dumbest thing, but should Last of Us Part 2 be judged separate, like independent of the first one?
Yeah. I feel that way with any sequel. Like, sure, there's always a question of, like, the same with movies for that matter. Does it live up to the first installment? That is a valid question to ask. But what a lot of people seem to misunderstand or forget is that even though a game isn't as good as its predecessor, doesn't mean it's bad.
It's a bad game, yeah.
Right? Like, a lot of it seems that the very common misconception is Last of Us 2 didn't live up to my expectations after playing Last of Us 1, therefore it's a bad game. That's not how that works.
Yeah. Are you, at the end of the day, are you still playing? You're not playing
Last
Bug Snacks, 1. You know? Just
exactly. I rate Last of Us 1 as a solid 9 out of 10. I'll rate Last of Us 2 a fucking 8.
Right.
Like, it's still really good, just not as good as.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So, I'm a little torn on this because The Last of Us is so heavily, like, connected to its sequel. Like, The Last of Us, for a start, it's not called The Last of Us 2. It's called The Last of Us Part 2.
Part 2.
Which I think does make a little bit of a difference. Because it implies that it's not just a separate installment. It implies that it's like the second part of one thing.
It picks up the story where the first one left off. But
so
that's it.
If it picks up the story, including some of the same characters, and also does some of those characters dirty, surely you can't avoid comparing it when...
No, and I'm not saying that you cannot compare it at all. But I'm saying that when comparing, together. It's important to understand that just because one is better doesn't mean 2 is bad.
But I don't think you can give 2 an accurate judgment without playing 1, because then you do not understand the impact and of the story, like beats that certain things that happen in 2 are affected by, right? So if the narrative and the characters of 1 are so reliant, like so influential on certain outcomes and emotions and feelings that you have in 2, surely you have to judge them together, or at least take the first into consideration.
Yeah, definitely
when
have to
judging
take it into consideration.
One. Even if it's only in sense of like the narrative and the characters, right? Outside of gameplay mechanics that could be, because it had some really fucking cool mechanics, etc. Like sequences, things like that. That in a vacuum seem good, but there's so much like that weighs on the other that it seems impossible to try and give it a fair judgment without considering, well, this guy did this and in the second one didn't, you know?
Yeah, but that's like saying, you know, that's like, you know, watching Lord of the Rings Return of the King without watching Fellowship of the Ring or The Two Towers and being like, oh, okay, I'm gonna write a review on this movie now. Like, no, you can't do that because it's a story that won't make sense without seeing the previous installment, or in this case, playing the previous installment. But
I don't know. I don't know actually though.
What do you mean?
You're gonna tell me. I genuinely, I feel differently about that than I do about Last of Us.
You're gonna tell me that watching Return of the King without watching the first 2 Lord of the Rings movies is acceptable and is like you can review the movie based on
If you were a critic. You might even... This goes for any sequel, okay? This goes for any sequel, and this includes The Last of Us. But I'm like, the cogs are turning in my head. If you want to give an objective, or more objective, I guess, opinion on Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, you might even be better off never watching the previous 2.
No, because you cannot judge the impact that some of the characters will have or certain moments will have without knowing the history.
Oh, but Return of the King is such a beautiful movie on its own.
Like, it is. I'm not saying it isn't. Like, all 3 of the Lord of the Rings movies are fucking beautiful movies, for that matter.
The scene where what's his name sings, dude, and the guy's eating his tomatoes and it's like dripping down his chin. I cry every time. Every time. I can see him biting the tomato.
This is the same logic applies here that applies to Last of Us Part 2. You don't understand the impact that a certain character death, for instance, will have without knowing the full story. Therefore, you won't be able to review/judge said game properly because you don't know the gravity of that moment, right?
I'm trying to think whether...
Can you watch the original Star Wars without watching the prequels and then review it? Absolutely, because they're 2 separate stories as a whole, and you don't need to know Darth Vader's origin story. You're better off not knowing, really, because those movies were fucking shit.
Well, okay, how... Return of the King. Okay. What I'm trying to think is, did those because they were separate books, right?
Yeah.
As well. So it's not like it was... This
but it still tells the same story. No, but it's one story.
Yes, it's one story throughout, but they were still written, and the movies were still made with a definitive start and end to each of these stories. That is not true at all. The Fellowship of the Ring ends, and you're like, okay, now it's actually gonna start. Like, no, the movies are cut in a certain way where
the movies end in such a way where they're like, oh, the next movie's gonna be Pog, dude. So no, that is stupid. No.
I swear, Fellowship. I guess
like for a franchise like Harry Potter, you could argue with that logic.
Yes. Oh no, but definitely because they really
not.
are very separate stories. But
yeah.
Yes, Except the Lord of the Rings is like at the start he gets the ring, and at the end, spoiler alert, he destroys the ring. But there's still very compelling stories told individually in each thing that you could judge them.
You cannot say after watching Fellowship of the Ring that you're satisfied and you're not going to watch a sequel. You know,
I love that we are one category into the Game Awards. We spent 10 minutes arguing about Lord of the Rings.
I mean, okay. To cut this short, to save everyone a half hour of headache, is it important to, if you want to judge the game's story and impactful moments, to keep the first game into account? Absolutely yes. Is it important to keep that into account when looking at gameplay mechanics? Absolutely not.
Okay. I'm glad we could get through that.
Yeah, we got it.
Okay, so
this is the segment of the podcast where Duke tells us what's in his mouth.
It's sweet and sour chicken. Outside of the game of the year, there's a lot of very similar comparisons to be made in best game direction. We'd probably go head to head with Last of Us and Ghost of Tsushima. Best narrative, same thing again, pretty much the same, except there's a game called 13 Sentinels Age of Rim, which I've never even heard of. No, best art direction, pretty much the same again. I mean, best score and music.
Dude, Ori is in there, bro.
Was The Last of Us Part 2 music that good?
It was really good, yeah.
I need to check out the Final Fantasy VII music because I fucking love Nobuo. He's one of my favorite composers. I absolutely adore Final Fantasy music all the way throughout the series. I think he's an incredible composer, and I did vibe to. I listened to Final Fantasy music whenever we play D&D. So, best audio design is when we finally get a new challenger that we've actually played, and that's Resident Evil 3. Do you have much to say about the audio design of Resident Evil 3 versus The Last of Us Part 2? Like, it's audio design. I don't... The saddest thing about the audio design in Last of Us Part 2 is that everyone had a name.
Dude, that's actually a really nice fucking touch. Like, that is true, actually. It's like, fuck, dude. But, like, audio design... I find that a hard category, because obviously audio design is just about, like... Do the footsteps sound like actual footsteps? Do the zombies sound convincing? Do the guns sound convincing, right? That's what they mean with audio design, right? It's not like, oh, this song is a banger. Because that's what the soundtrack category is for. I mean, the thing with Resident Evil 3, right, is just that... Does Nemesis sound like a big fuck-off monster that yells a lot? Yeah, he does.
How do the guns
Does it sound like my 40-year-old neighbor, hairy man, yelling at himself in the mirror? Yeah, I could see it. You know what I mean? Like, it's a weird category for me. I don't know enough about the more intricate parts about that sort of stuff to really...
The stuff that really stands out to me when it comes to audio design, or games, I should say, that stand out to me in audio design, is like The Division and Call of Duty Modern Warfare, right? And obviously they aren't even... in the question this year, but those are moments where I played a game and I was like, the audio design in this game is so fucking good, because you fire a gun and it sounds like you're firing a gun in a massive empty city, and it's like, wow, it's so immersive that way. But that's stuff that I often do. I pay attention to it. Now, Ashley Johnson or Laura Bailey, bro?
Ashley Johnson, bro.
Ashley Johnson
as a character, Ellie it's just way better. Although,
I'm telling Laura.
I don't know now, because like they both performed really fucking well. I don't know. It's a tough one. I don't know. They were both.
I gotta say though, it's awesome to see them both on the same cast. You know, regardless of who wins, it'll be cool because we love them both. Shout out Critical Role.
Dude, there's a Critical Role reference in Last of Us 2. There's a point when you play Abby, who is voiced by Laura Bailey, where you get to a tent, and there is one guy explaining what a battlefield is going to look like, voiced by Matt Mercer, to a group of soldiers who are voiced by all the other cast members of Critical Role. It's fucking funny, dude. It's fucking funny. So he's basically just explaining a battle map to his soldiers, and it's funny, like a little Critical Role meme. That's funny.
Okay. So now we're getting to categories that we can weigh in on a little bit more, because, for example, the best ongoing game category:
Apex
Legends, Destiny 2, Call of Duty Warzone, which I didn't think was going to be its own standalone thing, but I guess that's how they're judging Warzone now.
Warzone, I mean, you can download Warzone separate now from, you don't have to install the entire COD anymore. And I think Black Ops Cold War is going to continue, like, with Warzone. They're not bringing out their own BR.
What I heard was, they're not doing their own BR. They're doing zombies, but there's going to be updates to Warzone that align with Black Ops.
Yeah, so, like, probably new map, new guns, the whole shebang. And if you launch Black Ops Cold War, there is a button that allows you to play, like, queue into Warzone.
Right.
Like, you don't have to, like... So, like, Warzone has definitely become more of a, like, a standalone thing.
Which is interesting. Well, it's more than that, right? Because it's now, like... It's a standalone thing, but it's gonna run parallel to the series of games.
To whatever COD
which is interesting. I don't think that's ever been done before. So,
no, like, it's cool, though, because it adds longevity to the game. Instead of every studio having to make their own BR, they can just...
Yeah, and it means
take
that...
the BR that is there.
Every update, every game that comes out in the series, we know there's going to be some cool new stuff to Warzone, which is just like, that's a cool way to do it. Fortnite is obviously in the best ongoing games, and I have to say that every year that goes by is a year that people care less about Fortnite.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Apex is still going strong, in my opinion.
Apex, this season, just the new content and stuff has been really good. And sure, matchmaking bad, but that's been the case for ever since they introduced the rank split.
Yeah.
So that is not really an excuse to suddenly now start shitting on it. I
think
think
No Man's Sky is at the end as well, just real quick, and they did also release a big update for No Man's Sky. I think that this has been the weakest. This has been Fortnite's weakest year since its release. It's got to be. I don't believe Destiny 2 is a contender in any degree. I don't think Destiny 2 has ever been a contender in any degree. I don't know if there's ever been a time that people have really been truly happy with Destiny 2, even the Destiny 2 players. But I think that 2020 has been Fortnite's weakest year.
Yeah, absolutely.
And and that's awesome. Like you were saying, Apex has seen a new update that has added a map. Which, okay, I put out a fucking poll, by the way. What's your favorite map? Okay. And Kings Canyon won, because when I mentioned it in my Discord, all the fucking trolls were like, gonna vote for Kings Canyon now. So fuck you guys. But then I saw an actual poll with like thousands of votes. Olympus won, but with like quite a hard majority.
Yeah, I mean, it's best map yet, bro.
It's a really good fucking map.
Best map yet.
In fact, I saw a tweet recently that said, it was like at Respawn or at Play Apex, please make World's Edge 30 minutes and Olympus 1 hour 30 minutes on the rotation. Which I wouldn't mind.
I wouldn't mind at all. No. Fuck it. The thing is, since we're like ranked players, we're going to be stuck with World's Edge for half a season anyway, right? So
I like World's Edge, but boy, I just want to play
but
Olympus.
it's not as good as Olympus, bro. Olympus is really, and I can't wait for them to completely ruin it next season with map changes and
I
shit.
don't think they'll ruin it, right? I mean,
no, probably not.
The map changes have only really improved.
The map's so pretty, and there's been a trend in Apex maps. First map,
where some shit's gonna happen.
The first time you see a map, it's pretty, it's cool, like it's a hole.
Yeah.
And then the next season rolls around, and they fucking destroy it.
Yeah, some shit. Whether it's a giant monster or a giant lava machine.
Fucking Willy, bro. Like, Olympus is gonna just... I don't know how, but...
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, I'm voting for Apex. And I've got my fingers crossed for Apex. I don't think it's a shoo-in. I don't think it's a guarantee, because Warzone obviously has a pretty strong going fan base. It's not a bad game.
Warzone will probably win. Absolutely.
And No Man's Sky, another very dedicated fan base to the game, and has seen ongoing considerable improvements to the game.
Yeah, but I don't think No Man's Sky has the player base.
Doesn't have the COD.
Warzone.
Yeah, it doesn't have the COD numbers. So, all right. So best ongoing game. Yeah, I mean we're both hoping for Apex. Obviously, if you've been around here any amount of time, you'll know we both play the shit out of Apex. Best indie. Okay. Now.
Okay.
One thing that I want to say that's considerable and has really made me think, like, Hades is not only nominated best game of the year and like best action game or whatever the fuck, it's also nominated best indie. And I'm like, I need to play this game.
Hades, I've seen people play Hades. Looks fun.
It's like an isometric roguelike or something.
Yeah.
And it looks fucking good.
Like, takes inspiration from like Greek mythology and shit.
Yeah.
Looks fucking cool. Looks cool.
Then there's Fall Guys, which we both played. Remember Fall Guys?
Yeah, remember Fall Guys when that was like relevant for like a month?
Didn't XQC just get banned over Fall Guys?
Yeah, for the Twitch Rivals thing.
Man.
God.
That's wild. And then Carrion.
That's crazy.
Which
You've played Carrion.
Was way better than I thought it was going to be. I fucking loved Carrion. It's on Xbox Game Pass. If you haven't played it, play it. It's so good. It's so gruesome. It's so fun. That's really all I have to say. I think, okay, purely because, I mean, how can you get nominated for Game of the Year and then get nominated for Best Indie and not win Best Indie, you know? Hades has got to win this, without a doubt.
Probably.
Because none of the other indie games were nominated Game of the Year because they weren't good enough to be Game of the Year. So how could they even stand up to Hades, which is an indie game, just got nominated Game of the Year? Of course it's going to fucking win. Of course it is. But Carrion was fun.
Remember these words, chat. December 10th.
Hades is gonna win. I don't know what the fuck Spiritfarer is. I don't know what the fuck. Well, I do know what Spelunky 2 is, but Hades is gonna win. If it doesn't win, it's rigged. Best mobile game. Who gives a shit? Community support is a weird one to judge. Apex is nominated, and that seems bad because Apex been doing bad, but when you think about their response to the community at the so far in this season, it's like, well, to be fair, they're doing a good job, right? They fucked up the battle pass. They've attempted to fix it twice. They have given people free battle pass levels, changed how the weeklies work, like continuously reworking and changing the how the battle pass works in response to criticism from the audience. And I think that that's about the best you could hope for in terms of community support, right?
Yeah, I just wish they would implement placement games. God, that would be cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's, yeah.
Get my Preds out of my gold/plat games.
Rest of the games, we don't really have an opinion on. I mean, Valorant, do you have any experience with the community support in Valorant? No? So we can't really weigh in on them. Fall Guys we've played, but again, I don't know how they interact with the community.
There's one other, what's the category? Best debut or whatever?
Yeah, best debut. That's where Phasmophobia got nominated.
Yeah. I want that game to win so bad, dude. I want that game to fucking win that.
The thing is that Mortal Shell and Carrion are in that category, and...
Dude, Ghost game, bro.
Here's the thing. If we're talking... Now, again... If it's to votes, yeah, Phasmophobia is probably going to win, okay? But when we're talking about the quality of a game, the quality of Phasmophobia is like a 5 out of 10, right?
But it's Ghost game, it's fun, it's good. It needs to win.
It's fun, and friends make it funner. But boy, oh boy, that game is a fucking 5 out of 10. At best, in terms of design, quality.
But it's good, because it's fun. So
right.
It has to win. Grr.
I
need everyone in my chat to just spam rage emojis.
Do I think that Mortal Shell is more deserving of an award? Absolutely yes. Do I think
rage
that Carrion
right now, dude,
is more deserving of an award? Absolutely yes. But yeah, Ghost Game fun. Do I think it's the best debut game of 2020? I mean, are we talking? It's probably the most successful out of them all. It probably has the most players out of them all. But it is the most fucking... It's like house flipper assets with like...
I talked to Para,
ghost models that just
Dark
fucking
Souls
float around.
In field. He's gonna outloud me, chat.
I'm gonna outloud you.
I talked to Para, a resident Dark Souls expert in the field. Because even in the description of the game it says... This is an homage to Dark Souls. So like we compare it to Dark Souls, all right? Don't get your fucking panties in a bunch. I asked Per, I was like, yo, you got the game. What's it like? Just wait till it's on sale, dude. Apparently it's not that great. Like, apparently it's alright, but apparently it's not like that hyper mega poggers crazy. Sure, it looks pretty.
You know what else isn't that hyper mega poggers crazy? Phasmophobia.
If you say Phasmophobia.
Why do we stand Phasmophobia so hard? You've seen that game. You've seen the fucking, like...
Oh, cancel Sir Duke.
Character models,
fucking,
dude.
That's a fucking... That's a weird champ, dude. Weird
It's not
champ.
that good a game.
Weird champ.
I just don't understand, like...
Weird champ. Bro, you're gonna regret this when Phasmophobia wins that December 10th, bro.
I'm not saying it's gonna lose. I think it probably will win because more people play it than anything else, and everyone's like, "Ooh, ghost game, hee 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 hee." But seriously,
shut up, dude. Just stop talking.
Okay,
Read
bro.
the fucking room.
Okay, bro.
Thank you.
But I do think that Mortal Shell and Carrion, there was way more work put in, and they're just better. Okay, all right.
Dude.
Okay. Content Creator of the Year, Studio 33.
Man.
Best multiplayer. Oh, that's tough. Valorant or Warzone is gonna. There's no way Among Us wins, right?
Can we talk about how that shouldn't be nominated? Didn't come out this year, did it? No, it didn't. Came out in 2016, did it?
But
oh, weird.
But it was a 2020 game, you know?
Yeah, no, I feel you, and I know why it's nominated, but technically, dude,
was a game of 2020. There's a lot of esports categories that we can go through, but I mean, all in all, best esports coach. Who the fuck cares? I'm sorry,
me.
Esports coaches. I'm sorry, I didn't mean
me
it.
when I coach my boys in Hearthstone Battlegrounds.
Best esports event should be TI, but it didn't happen this year, so I sort of just do not give a shit. Best esports game. I'm probably just gonna say CS:GO because I say CS:GO every time. I don't know if you want to root for Valorant at all there, but
Nah.
in my opinion, CS:GO at its core is one of the best
alright.
esports games that has ever been made, and like any year
I mean, just by clout alone, like just because of the sheer clout they have.
I mean, even not by
esport.
clout. I just think game design and like the way you play, the way it's designed, the skill involved.
And let's be fucking fair here. Valorant is just CS:GO.
Valorant is CS:GO with
extra steps.
Yeah, and those extra steps take away from the very, very raw game experience that is CS:GO. That is just like, man, really pure fucking skill against pure fucking skill a lot of the time, you know?
Yeah.
Best esports host?
Me.
2 Dutch ladies. Good for you.
Yo, shout out.
Golden Boy and Machine are the 2 that I'm really familiar with, and I think Golden Boy is a POG champ, so, you know, I hope he wins. Best esports team? Team Secret, obviously. Team Secret are incredible. Best Dota 2 team. Love Team Secret. I stand Puppy. I played it for one day and then I uninstalled it, yeah.
Yeah, like, Valorant's alright. It's not great, but it's okay.
But yeah. If you did play any of these games, guys, feel free to go and vote in the... I mean, even if you didn't go vote based on the character's titties or some shit like that. I don't know. Wait.
Everyone vote for Phasmophobia in the debut
go vote
category.
for an inferior game.
Oh, go vote for your mom's pussy hole, dude. Holy
Not nominated,
shit.
is it?
Oh, it should be.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Best multiplayer game.
No! He's so proud. He's so proud of himself. He's so proud of himself. Look at him. He's so fucking proud. Oh, this son of a bitch.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Fuck
The only
you.
reason Duke doesn't like Ghost Game because his entire experience was in a van. True.
Oh my god, who the fuck said that?
Para.
Para spent an entire... Para passed out and spent an entire fucking mission like just stood in the ghost room like this.
God.
And he didn't die. Can you believe that?
I remember that one game we played with fucking Brass of Panda where he had to go AFK in the fucking...
You did exactly the same thing, yeah.
God. Man, I'm really impressed by that funny joke I just made, dude. I'm sorry.
Dude. Oh my god. Okay, there's one thing that we missed. Oh, there's a couple, but the ones that we can really weigh in on was Best RPG, because Wasteland 3 is in there, and I don't think it's going to win, but it's in there. Good for that.
It's in there, dude.
I think Genshin Impact or Yakuza will win, but you know. Oh, Final Fantasy 7 Remake, maybe? Yakuza? Okay, listen. End of the day, Game Awards, in summary, Last of Us 2, Last of Us 2, Last of Us 2, Last of Us 2, Last of Us 2. Right?
Phasmophobia. Yeah.
What do I think is going to win? I think Game of the Year goes to Tsushima. I think Best Narrative, Last of Us 2. I think Best Direction, Last of Us 2. I think Best Art Direction, neither of them. I think there's probably something in there that's got a little more intrigue. Whatever, dude. Just watch the Game Awards on the 10th. We'll be streaming it on Profane's channel.
December 10th. Watch it. We're going to be most likely be casting it on Profane's channel. And the fun thing about the Game Awards is my favorite event to cast with the homies, because it's just I don't know. There's something about the format of that show that makes it very fun to watch. And there's some live performances. Like the Game Awards Orchestra always does these makes like a mashup of like all the soundtracks of the Game of the Year nominees and plays it live with like this large orchestra, which is fucking sick. They announce some new games there as well, typically. Like I think Mortal Kombat 11 got revealed there. I think Elden Ring got revealed there, or like the first initial like teaser for Elden Ring got revealed there.
And Bloodborne.
And some other shit.
Not Bloodborne. Sekiro. Sekiro is also a teaser at Game Awards.
Sekiro.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it was Sekiro. Maybe Elden Ring was E3, and maybe Sekiro is what I'm thinking about.
Because I just remember them playing that clip of like the weird machine thing, and that was it.
Yeah.
And that was a teaser for the FromSoft game. But yeah, I love the Game Awards too.
About, Soko?
I have to say that with the Game Awards is like, fuck the Oscars.
Plus, I just like Jeff Keighley, bro. He's so
I like
cringe
Jeff Keighley,
but funny.
But the Game Awards is so unbridled. It's not like a TV thing where it's like, oh, you can't say any swears and it's all really scripted and
fuck the Oscars, bro.
It's just a good ass time. It's just a good time, and you get a really good look at like what's going on in the industry and the homies, and yeah, love the Game Awards, and I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, and apparently like this year, because obviously COVID, they're doing it a little differently. It's not all gonna be from LA. There's gonna be like basically 3 live shows that they're constantly gonna be flipping between. So there's one in LA, there's one in Tokyo, and one in London, I think.
Sugoi.
But yeah, like, do you think they will reveal anything this year? Yeah, probably. I don't know what, but something, probably.
My mom's pussy,
maybe.
I guess.
Best multiplayer game. God, that was fucking funny.
Anyway, it's 8:30.
Yeah, I think.
I'm excited. Anything else you want to talk about?
No, not really. I think we can tie it off here and fine.
Yeah.
I need to clip that fucking joke, dude. That was so funny. Holy fuck. I'm still.
Don't say thanks for watching.
Everybody, thanks so much for watching Past Podcast.
Thanks for watching,
We have
guys.
been your hosts, and
See you next week.
see you next week.